Hello everybody, and welcome to round 4 of the SRO World Series. This is Series 2 of the 4 Series Furlong Championship, chasing the cup. Today we are in Shanghai, China, and the weather gods have frowned upon us, and it is pouring rain at the moment. So we are about 5 or so minutes away from quali, and the drivers are just out there trying to get a feel for this wetness. Let's get a look at what kind of times they're putting in. What we can do here. Shanghai, China. That's a amazing circuit. They just resurfaced it in 2025 for the Formula One that you might have watched a couple of weeks ago. Slightly different than what we have today. It's a 5.4 kilometer, 3.8 mile track with 16 turns, and probably most famously known for that just about 300-degree turn 1-2 section that is just a curlicue half pretzel that the drivers will have to navigate here, and navigating it through this rain. Look, it's going to be a little bit tough with these guys in the rain, with no windshields and no wipers in the proto cars and these P2s. So that's going to be something to keep our eyes on. We're still waiting for some of the drivers to get in. Already off track a little bit here. Pilchers. Let's see if we can find somebody that's out there. There we go. Tony Talentier just joined us, so the smaller crowd for this round 4. I don't know if the rain has scared them away, or the real world also gets in the way sometimes. So knowing that, we will have approximately 16, 17 drivers today. Currently our 9 signed up on the prototypes, and I think 7 on the GTEs that hopefully will show up, get everybody today. 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 of them in there now as we manage our way through here. So it should be a great day of racing. 90 minutes on this wet, soaked surface. From looking at the forecast, it looks like the start of the race will be no rain. It'll probably be a little bit wet because the major part of the storm is going to hit right in the middle of quali, and that's going to be, that should shake things up for the leaderboards and the pole position stuff. So we'll just wait and see what happens there. And then for the race start, it looks like looking at the radar, we're going to have a little bit of a break from the rain, and until about mid-race, or maybe 35-40 minutes into that race, we will probably see some rain, which is going to force some different types of strategies for sure. All right. Well, with all that said, I want us to remind everybody who in the heck is helping us do this, and that is our sponsor, Liberty Footwear. Built in America. This whole series is being sponsored by Liberty Footwear. They have a really great website. If you're in the market for any kind of work boot, custom boots, stylish, comfort, performance, safety, hiking, everyday wear, custom fit, handcrafted boots, look up these guys, check out their website, and make sure you tell them that Randy's in here. Randy Merrick is our local liaison for the Liberty Footwear boys. So keep that in mind if you are in any need and looking for any type of footwear. Check these guys out. It'll help them out, and it'll also help us out. So yeah, with that said, we are about ready for quali. It looks like we got 12 on. We're still waiting for about 5 guys to show up, so we'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, I think the clock is ticking. I was notified by the race officials that we are going to allow a couple of minutes. There's a couple of guys that were actually on their way to this event. Maybe they're stuck in the rain. Who knows? But we are going to delay quali a couple of minutes just to give these guys a chance to jump on the server. The more the merrier. We got nothing else to do on this Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you happen to be in the world. So with that said, it looks like the clock has run out on that, and we are definitely moving into a quality situation. Let's see. Let's see if I can get. There we go. That's the shot I'm looking for. You see this Jiading district, just a beautiful, beautiful circuit. These guys went all out building this facility. It's hosted many, many races, as you saw the F1 races. There's about 10 different events that they have every year here. It's challenging nonetheless, and also it's known for its longest straight. It's got one of the longest straights in motor racing. So with that said, let's get down there and find some guys to follow. I think some of the proto guys have headed out now, so let's get a look at Nick Westy. This is a private quali, so there won't be any traffic, which is probably a good thing. These guys are going to be dealing with a little bit of rain. You see the track looks pretty soaked. Nick Westy there, a little bit of pause. That's as guys are joining, so that's just your R Factor 2 stuff. Nick Westy is leading the championship. In fact, while these guys are doing some outlaps, I'll give you a look at some of these scores. I get a little chance here. Let's make a little room here. So, the P2 class and the GTE class. I'm going to show you what's up there. Who's leading? Bernardovich with that 116 points over John Vandergeest in the GTE with Edward Jones right behind him and Tony Talvitier, who missed a race. And he's still pretty good for missing that race. And then you can see Nick Westy and Carl Middleton are duking it out. Pretty close battle that they have over there for the yacht competition. I am so far just to give you an idea what kind of points these guys get. The first is 40, second 36, and third 30, so on. You can see the way it steps down from there. So there you have the breakdown on that. So yeah, we are in for a treat today. Let's get the timing back up. And get an idea of what's going on here. As Westy will start his first lap, he is on a hot one now. See the spray coming off. I don't see any rain falling at the moment, but looking at the radar, it would appear that the big stuff is heading into about the midway part of this 15-minute quali. It should start coming down pretty good. Trying to get an idea of who's might get across first here. He is purple in sector 1, but of course everybody's going to be purple. It's the first lap. See Ed Jones coming across in the GTEs. He'll be crossing the line to start his lap. Excuse me. We'll just keep an eye on the points leader here for this first lap. You get a little sideways, a little crossed up there. What's going to happen in the rain? Really tricky section of track here. Slow track, and then this open up, get on the apex right here to really get a good run onto that long straight. So you get this just right so you can get on the throttle, and the rain is going to hit with that. So there's a look at how long that straight is. This is one of the longest straights in motor racing, as we talked about earlier. Hard on the brakes. Purple. Oh, and the rain is not helping on that one. So let's just see what happens. Westy should be putting the first time up here. setting the rain-soaked pace. And there you have it. Das Gobbler has it. Oh, Wesley's pulls in the pit. So the Gobbler pulled that 209 out of nowhere. As I thought for sure Wesley was going to at least get a time in, but I think he probably gave it up due to the fact that his run lap where he spun lost a little bit. But here comes another taker as guys are joining the server. You can see Carl Middleton, who's jumped by Peter Jones by just, I don't know, about half a second or so. You can see Middleton is 1.3 up, and here comes Freddie Hell. He's +8. So they're starting to roll in here. Let's get a look at the GTEs. Where is Roman? There's Roman. So he's starting his hot lap in the Porsche today. He was driving the Austin, and he is in the sideways Porsche. You can see rain is going to wreak havoc today with these guys. So this is going to be a true test of not only skill, but nerves. 90 minutes of intense battling in this drenched, soaked Yading District Shanghai circuit. So who knows what's going to happen. Let's see, it's Talvitier out on track right now, too. And now Tony, who was battling really good with Roman, is also in the Porsche. So this might be a really good GTE battle, as these two guys are the quicker of the GTE drivers. And now they're both in the Porsche. So that should be interesting. Get a look at what happens here with Talvitier. He's going to put a lap in here. Granatovic has that 217, and Talvitier comes right behind him, about a second off. Very nicely done, Tony. All right. Let's see what Matej is out there with that 209. And he is coming into the pits. So Philip Fischler is on a time lap, as we are just about halfway through quali. And I really want to see how it looks for these guys. This is the bumper cam of Philip Fischler's car. You can see the puddles on the rain-drenched circuit. These guys are just going to have to really be careful. Take this last little sector 3 left, right. Oh, and he gets it out of whack there, which is going to be the common theme, I think, today. So, wow, okay. Andrew Harper's joining us today in that beautiful livery, just designed, a fresh livery right off the press by Andrew. He's one of our better skin designers, does a wonderful job with R Factor 2, Assetto Corsa, all the Sims. He's just a marvelous painter with a lot of skill, and let's see if we can actually get a look at that a little bit closer. There is Andrew. But what I want to do is have a look at his livery. Let's see if I can get a couple of different views here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That was what I was looking for. Oh, we got a little freeze going there. That means somebody else is probably joining, and it was. Stephen Wyndham has just joined. So that's good news. I wanted to touch base with you on a little bit of Andrew talking about his skin. I'm looking for the post now, so bear with me. He designed this, trying to copy another skin. And if I can find the post here. Oh, yeah, here we go. The Orca 5, actually. Okay. Good fun, something scratch built with his OCD designer skills and issues, but he's using the spike from the IMSA ELMS event. This is his so Spike's slightly more snarly cousin. This is his own vision inspiration. So it's Spike. Did he give it? I thought he gave it another name. It's the it's the AO Racing Dragon inspired livery using Spike. Okay, that's what it is. All right, so there you go. So it's Spike slightly more snarly a cousin. So there you have that. Yeah, good looking stuff. Okay. This drenched circuit. Now this particular P2 is covered, right? So some of these guys are going to have them and some of them aren't. Like let's take a look at Westy, or switch right to Westy. He's got the open cockpit. So he's going to be getting that rain right in the face. So keep that in mind as we battle through this last 4.5 minutes of quali. With Jeff Gobbler still on top, Peter Jones just a half second off, and Middleton about a second. You can see the 1.3 difference there. And then we get down to Westy with that 4.1. In fact, we're following Westy now, and he's green in sector 1, so he's bettering his own time, but he's been known to put up a couple of times. See what he has to do here. As Peter Jones is about to cross, let's watch him cross and see if he betters his time. Oh no, he's just on a hot lap. Okay, so let's go back to Westy. And then, excuse me, right behind Westy is Robin Taylor, his teammate, who is Black Cat Motorsports. But yeah, this is going to be tough. And he opens it up to that big straight. Let's see what he can do. Lost a little time there in sector 3 so far, or sector 2, pardon me. Look at that baby. Okay, got it a little better that time. That's where he lost it that one lap. As you can see, that middle sector too has hurt him a little bit. As he makes the turn, last turn in turn 16 down to the start finish straight. And let's see if he can move himself up a little bit. Currently 4th and staying in 4th. So start a ripper here. Let's get back down, have a look at these GTEs. Gilles in the Porsche. So a lot of Porsches today in the GTEs. Probably a good car to race around in the rain with that rear mid-engine. Could be some fun from Jean van der Geest. I think he's also in a Porsche. Ed Jones, though, he's rocking that vet. And Talvitier, who's out there in the Porsche. Chasing down Granatovich. See, he's about a second off, but Roman is very quick. All right. Lewis Middleton not on the grid yet as of today, but here comes Carl, who's second place behind Westy, starting a hot lap. This could be one of the last ones, as there is just 2:13 left. He will cross the line without an incident with a few seconds left, so he could opt to do one more lap. But it looks like he's going to be protected today with that nice onboard cockpit, not open like Mr. Westy is going to have to endure. Who else? Let's see. Westy, his teammate Taylor, who's in. Pichler, also with the open cockpit. Currently in 6th in the P2 class. And then Freddie Hall, also in an open cockpit. So these guys are going to be enduring the elements for sure. And Andrew Harper. He's a little bit yellow in the yellow as the last minutes of quali tick down. So barring any crazy laps coming, it looks like we might be set as Harper finds himself slipping and sliding in the rain. Ooh, there you go. Spin that baby around. Yeah. Let's go. You got time for one more lap. Doesn't have much of a run on the crossing the start finish for any kind of momentum. Let's see. Next across the line is going to be Talvitier. But as you can see, he's yellow and yellow. So his incident, I think, whoa, you can see that rain having an effect. Definitely coming down. As the clock is about to expire. And with that, the Scobbler's crossing the line. Does he better his time? That 209.513 is the fastest time in quali. Here comes Peter Jones, if he has anything for him. 210.18, and that is it. So I think we are set. The red light is out. Are any of these guys on lap still? Everybody's parking it. Gilles is still out there. Oh, Joe Brown made it on the circuit, so excellent. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 GTEs and 8 Protos on the grid. So that is good news as he's pulling into the pits too. Who else is out there? Carl's out. Where are these guys? Who's in sixth? That's Phil Fischler. Fischler's about halfway around, so I don't know if he's on a time lap or not. As is Andrew Harper on a time lap, but you can see he has had his woes out there with the rain, as he's a couple seconds off in each sector. So let's get back to Fischler, and Fischler has also found his way off the track. No surprises there with all this weather at hand. So with that said, I believe our grid is set. I am going to set the starting order. As quali has come to an end, officially. All right. Good heavens, they made it through. As he's bringing it in. Where's that view I want? There we go. There's a good shot of the circuit. So 5-minute practice. And then we are getting ready to start. While we're sitting here, let's have a look at the schedule, what's coming up. So as you can see, we are now in round 4 at Shanghai. In 2 weeks, round 5 at Baku. This is the Asian Championship, so these are all Asian tracks. And then round 6, we will be at Japan at Suzuka on the 15th of June, and that will wrap up Series 2 of the SRO World Series. Remember, it's 4 series covering the entire 12-month year 2025. Next up, in fact, what I've heard is going to be the historic Formula One is going to be coming up. So that should be an exciting Series 3 that will be starting. Probably that end of June, I would imagine, a couple weeks after round 6 at Suzuka. So there you have the schedule. And yeah, what a deal. To get a look at this track really fast, I mean, it's Shanghai and Jiading. It's insane. I mean, just look at this thing. Holy smokes, that straight is unbelievable. And then you got the almost 300-degree turn one. So yeah, as you can see from quali and practice, that it has wreaked havoc with these drivers already. So with that said, we got a few guys out on track. So let's give them a gander. As Roman leads the GTEs out there with Talavitier right behind him. And then I believe that is Ed Jones right behind them. Joe Brown, glad to see Joe made it in. He's still parked right now, so I want to see what kind of car he's in. I have no idea. Where is Jean Vandergeest is in the pit as well. Wyndham is out, so Wyndham's got the Austin, and he had looks like Stefan is either pulled over to talk to that guy running that tractor, or he had a little bit of an off. So we shall wait and see. He's just kind of getting his feet wet there. Looks like Vandergeest is going to park it. We're going to be able to see Joe Brown's car. It looks like Joe Brown might also be, that kind of looks like a vet. I can't tell. But Wyndham, there's Mr. Wyndham. So these guys better put the wet tires on and be able to get it together here for this. Now the rain has subsided for now, so it looks like the start won't have any falling rain, but I believe our track is going to be soaked. So with that, we're curious to see what kind of tires these guys are going to start with. So we will take a look here, kind of see what they're practicing with. Wow, the Scobbler's actually on the softs, and so is Stefan Wyndham. No wonder he's sliding all over the place. Okay, as you can see, there's only a couple drivers out. It looks like Granovich, Salvitier, and Jones all on the wets. So I think that would be the wise choice. And Wyndham has just changed to wets too, so that will save him a little bit. Let's see where he is. He should have a little bit more control now. As you can hear the throats of that Austin. What a great car. All right, we're about halfway through this warm-up section. Remember, we're going to have a manual formation lap is what we call it here at Sim Racing Online. A lot of sims and leagues use it. We let the starting lights go just because we don't trust the factory formation lap, so to say. So what we do is we just add a couple of minutes to the race. Like this is the 90-minute race, and we make it 93. And then the pace car is the actual pole sitter, and he leads us around at about, I don't know, 80, 90 kilometers, 60, 70 miles an hour on a formation lap. And the race starts at the last turn, the exit of the last turn. So in this case, it'll be that turn 16, that soaking wet turn 16, where you see Wyndham there off on the hook, right? And that's when the leader gets there, they are free to accelerate down that start-finish straight. So, and last week we had a little controversy. Some drivers were a lot of concern. They thought that maybe the pole sitter got a little bit of a jump early, but he was well within the rules after reviewed by our team of stewards. Between the 5 of us, we all deemed that he was still within the rules where he accelerated. And yeah, that was it. We did have a couple other penalties that were handed out. We're missing a driver today who is not participating, but did receive a drive-through for some sporadic driving. But we don't know, it wasn't on purpose, but sometimes things happen, and we just got to deal with it. That's racing. I mean, when you, in the scheme of things, it's not much different than the real racing. There is that beautiful spike, Andrew Harper. All right, the last 20 seconds or so of practice are evaporating right before our eyes, and we are just about ready to go to the grid, where we're going to hear the most famous words in all of sim racing. The original soundtrack all the way back to R Factor 1, where Gijon put this whole spaghetti code together. And man, I wonder if he can look at it and see what it is today. Was it 20 years ago already? I remember when R Factor 1 came out, it was just awesome. The first time I sat in a open wheel sim where I really felt the speed. And I was a flight sim guy up until then, and then when I got my hands on that, it's just I never stopped. I slowed down on the flight sims, and yeah, the sense of speed was just amazing. And here we are today with all these great sims that most all of them are.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
There they are, the famous words back to our Factor 1, but just about every sim we race has a little bit of Gijon's code in there. So here we go. We'll start with who's on the pole as soon as he jumps out there. There we go. Peter Jones is out, so let's go. As the grid fills up, let's get a look at that starting order. So here you have it. Starting at pole is Matej Skabler. Peter Jones in second. Carl Middleton in third. Nick Westy in fourth. As you can see, there go the horns, and this will start the pace lap. This is a formation lap, manual formation lap. In fifth is Robin Taylor. Sixth is Philip Fischler. Seventh is Andrew Harper. And eighth is Freddie Hell. Then we have the GTE led by Roman Granatovich, Tony Talvitier, Ed Jones, and John Vandergeest. The top four in that class. And then followed up by Gilles Da Silva and Stephen Winham. And where is Joe Brown? He's out there. He's still in the pits. Come on, Joe. I think Joe missed the start. Well, that's most unfortunate. All right, so there you have it. As we are ready to get going here. We'll see. These guys are kind of jumped out in front here. Better slow that pace down. If you're looking at Carl Middleton is starting on the mediums. Wow, very brave. I don't think he's going to last very long. I think that is a wise decision. You can see how wet the track is. So he's currently in third. How's he handling? Interesting. Very interesting, yeah. Okay, now they're boxing up a little bit better to get ready for this start of round 4. Shanghai, China, in the rain. Are the GTE leaders. Give you a little trap action so you can see what's going on. As they're heading down the back straight, those P2s are getting close. Couple turns away from the start. They are bunched up pretty nicely. A little bit of a gap there too, Carl. I am really curious as to see what happens here. All right, one turn to go, and we are underway. As you can see, Peter Jones jumping up on him. Here we go. This is it, the exit of turn 16, and the race is on. You can hear the throats of those P2s firing up now. There is Carl. Nick Westy is all over him as they head down the straight in anger for the first time. Westy trying to get around Carl. He's got a little bit of gap, and he does. And Carl is, if he is truly on those mediums, you can see the red labels on those babies. Tej out in front. Let's check the GTEs now as they are making their way. Granatovich gets a really good jump. And looks like Brown has made it out. So Joe Brown started in the pits. At least he is out on the grid. So here we go. Meanwhile, Carl is dropping like a rock on those mediums. Ace Motorsports driver Carl decided to start on those mediums. He could be paying for this. And could we get a dry line anyway? You can see. Should you double check on this? They make their way through. He is indeed on the middles, and so is Talvitier. So Talvitier decided to start on the mediums as well. So Carl, struggling, finds himself in dead last of the P2s now as they're all going around. So is he going to pit to get that deal with that or not, we do not know. And here is the GTE class. Bernardovich out in front of Jones is Talbitier also falling back, which makes it tough. It's going to be hard to manage. I know there was some talk in the chat about how R Factor 2 carries the wetness over. If it rains in quali, you're going to have a wet track to start. So we are seeing that now as Gilles and John Vandergeest just back here are side by side in the. Well, we have the Porsche Cup going on here. So the first four or five cars are all the Porsches. Silva and then Stefan Winham. Ed Jones, of course, in that bet, currently in second. So good for him. He does break up the Porsche madness, so I take that back. It's not the first five. But 4 of the first 5 are all in Porsches. All right, back to the Protos. Matej just jumped out to almost a 1.5 lead there over Jones. And Middleton just surviving at this point, hoping that he gets a dry line. And if he do get a dry line, which the rain is about 30 minutes away, so if we can get a dry line and all, he might be able to make up some space and then head into that pits during the rain, put the wets on. And meanwhile, Joe Brown has just gotten around Stefan Winham, so good for him and the vet coming around in that challenging rain conditions. Very challenging out here today. Meanwhile, up here at the Protos, there is Westy currently in third. As the leaders crosses the line yet again. So these Protos are pretty much staying together. They've got a decent gap on each other. Freddie Hell and Andrew Harper are just back here. Probably the two closer. You can see Freddie. So I see blue sky up there. And there are a few dry spots starting to happen. So we need some sun in this. Who needs the sun is Mr. Middleton. It's really going to be struggling on it. So we got a battle back here in the Porsches. Vandergeest and De Silva. John putting the challenge on. Down that start finish straight. Meanwhile, the Protos up here are still keeping that gap. They're all about 3 or 4 seconds apart. Westy takes a little bit of curb. The Pichler's putting a little bit of pressure on, or getting some pressure from, well, I guess no one. I thought they were tight there. That must have been the turn. 13 to 14. Meanwhile, Joe Brown now is closing in on Vandergeest. Joe Brown chasing the Porsche of Vandergeest. This is for 5th. See how careful these guys gotta be. Hey, he's looking at the inside. Vandergeest making that Porsche as wide as possible. As the sheer power of Joe with that Corvette. Looks like he's gonna have the inside on this turn, but chooses to wait it out as they are approaching that long straight here as they make it through the turn. He gets around Vandergeest in that big sweeper, heading down the main, the longest straight that we have in this series. And let's see now what that bet can do. Vandergeest, you can only watch. See if you can stay with him. As they fishtail around that turn 15 section, heading into turn 16. So nice work by Joe Brown, starting in the pits and now finds himself up into 5th place. Or 6th place, right? I guess, well, that's because Freddie Hell is out of this race. He's in the pit, so Freddie must be changing some tires, perhaps. Who knows? Or getting fuel, or maybe he's doing a short stop. Maybe this was his strategy, or maybe he hit the wall. We don't know. We weren't watching. But here is your leader, Matej Escobar. As these P2s, I like how at least they're kind of all staying in the same zip code. And let's check with Carl. Sticking with the mediums, as you can see, as the spray stops, you tell that the track is drying out because there's less and less spray. So this might play out for Middleton here. We know how fast he is from last 2 weeks ago's race. As you see, Descabler just set a new 2:05.7, fastest lap of the wet race so far. Let's check again on Freddie. Freddie is back out, so Freddie held back out of the pit. And he is definitely on the wet. So that's a good move there. Meanwhile, Taylor and Westy, teammate from Black Cat, sticking with each other. And De Silva and Tony Talvitier. So Talvitier struggling on those mediums as De Silva has closed, making those wets pay off. But as the track dries, I think Tony's going to have the advantage. I know the wets in our factor 2, and of course anywhere, they don't last that long when it starts to dry out. So we'll see what happens here. Another couple of laps. There's less and less spray each time. So if I was Jill, I'd be looking for the wet, keep those tires cooled off. And Tony's looking for the dry line. There it is. It's just that tough 300-degree turn. And it just closes in on you right here. It just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. It's just insane. But she's sticking with him pretty good there. They chase each other down. This is the closest racing we have on track right now. And Gilles gets around on the outside, bending it back onto the inside. So nice move there by Gilles De Silva to get himself around Talvitier, struggling on those medium. Meanwhile, up ahead, Taylor and Westy. See Taylor. There's your gap between the teammate. About 2.5 seconds back. As the track is drying out nicely, what is that going to do for Carl? I think it's going to do him okay. Andrew Harper's last lap was a 2:08, and Descabler's last lap was a 2:04. So Carl Middleton's last lap was a 2:11. So he's still, there he is. He's still struggling with these mediums, but I'm thinking now that it's drying out, he might be able to jump up a little bit, get himself back in action. As Talvitier, see if he has anything to come back on Gilles now that the sun is almost trying to appear. I'm seeing some shadows, so that's good news. Sun out. Remember Freddie Howe, who pitted earlier? He's 14th overall, and I guess he's 8th in class. Here he is now. So I'm trying to look at some of the lap times, and Middleton needs to get on the move here. Here is Philip Pichler, currently in 5th. As we see Peter Jones pulling into the pits. So Jones pitting, perhaps going off the wets and onto the mediums. I don't know, but the GTE leader also in the Porsche. So it looks like Wenham's back on the mediums, and Brown back on the mediums. Or switch. Oh, we got a yellow. Who's off? It's the 14th place car, Freddie Hell. There he is. He has found the barrier. Has he got any damage? It's okay. Steering looks okay. Yeah, it looks like he's okay. So hopefully just a spin. So as I was saying, Talviti on the mediums and Wenham on the mediums. I made a mistake there. But Peter Jones has just got a penalty coming out of the pits. It looks like it was a speeding penalty. That is not going to bode well for his maneuver there, trying to get through. Middleton has moved up now due to Freddie Hell's spin and Jones's pit stop. That does move Carl up, and his lap time should start coming down. His last lap was a 2:10, so that is considerably better than his previous lap. Still, you can see they're struggling just a little bit. But as that dry line comes into play, he is going to pick up pace. So let's see if that choice of starting on the mediums is going to haunt him. If he can make it pay off. Meanwhile, this 10-11 group here, the Tony Talvitier Porsche battle here with Gilles. As the track dries, I think that's going to give Tony the advantage on those medium. We shall see. As we got Ed Jones, or is that, yeah, that's Joe Brown in the vet. Brown is just tearing it up in that vet. He has started in the pits and finds himself now in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place. And he is closing in on Talvitier. So at some point in time here, the choice to stay on the mediums is either going to pay off or it's going to be an epic fail. As Talvitier now under pressure. We know the rain is coming. It's in the radar. The rain is expected in the next 15 minutes or so. So he's got to make hay right now. But expect to make these medium tires work. Jones is serving his pit stop. There he is. He's doing his drive-through. And you can see pit lane is completely soaked still. So as he gets through there, let's get back to the Joe Brown battle. Looking to the inside. Got De Silva in front and decides to wait it out. Probably wisely so. As we've got Matej, the leader of the P2s, coming through now. Blue flag. Good spot as Matej gets through. and weaves his way around Tony as Tony stays on that dry line. Nicely done. As Joe Brown just making the best of this. Applying that pressure to Tony. Tony's just, even though the line's dry, he still looks like he's unable to hold it in the turns. The high-speed turns are probably a little more dangerous. We got some low-speed turns. He's looking to the inside here. This could be the pass. He's got a wheel on him. He's on the inside, and he does make the pass. It looks like for now, anyway. Does Tony have anything for him? As Jones is now working on De Silva, as Westy is coming through. Westy taking over second place. Oh, there's a punt. There's a punt by Jones. Oh, into De Silva. De Silva, he's waiting for him. He's doing the sportsman thing. Very nicely done by Mr. Joe Brown. And he's going to give that position back. But let's see if they can get Vandergeest. Very, very, very sportsmanlike, following the rules, as Joe inadvertently gave Gills there a little bit of a left tap. That did allow Tony to get through, and he's going to stay on him after giving back that position. Vandergeest is now in the picture, coming just closely behind. And that is the fourth place car, Philip Pitchler, as you can see in the prototype just behind this group. So that allowed Talvitier to jump up front, and he is also coming around Wenham. So Talvitier was the best beneficiary of that, as he's going to put Wenham down a lap in the GTEs. But Joe Brown just now getting around Gill and Freddie Hell as well. Where is Freddie Hell, for crying out loud? So Gilles is coming in. So that was the pit stop for Gilles. Perhaps he's thinking about putting on the mediums. I don't know. I don't know if that's a wise move when they know rain is coming. But he is pitting nonetheless. Let's see, 12 and 11. As the Protos here are going to get through. Hello, how you doing? I believe that is Vandergeest right there. As the Protos getting through with Joe Brown just ahead. So Peter Jones, after the drive-through in P2, he finds himself down in 7th, I believe, of the Protos. About to get through a Granatovich, the GTE leader. So I'm looking around here. That's going to be a pass. But meanwhile, we got positions here as Vandergeest closes in on Brown. Best lap of the race, Matej Descabler with a 2:04.6. Meanwhile, Carl Middleton's last lap was a 2:05.7, so the drying conditions are helping Carl. Here is Carl. So you can see that dry line starting to take shape now, and his lap times have come down. He has almost about the third fastest lap now, just behind, fourth fastest behind Peter Jones with a 2:05.6, and then a 2:04.07 for Taylor, and a 2:03.16 now for Matej. So that is a new fastest lap. There. So, meanwhile, Taylor and Westy teammates closing in on each other there. These are the closest two Protos on track at the moment. This is the podium, third and second place right there. It's Dax Scabler out front with that huge gap. Got about 10 seconds on these two. And then back to the Protos. Telvitier finds himself in second. Joe Brown and the Freddie Hell in the Proto. Currently 10th overall. He is coming up on Stephen Wenham, so he's about to get through the last place of the GTEs on that nice dry line now. Ed Jones. Jones currently in 6th, Vandergeest in 5th as the Protos make their way through. So lots of traffic up here. It's Harper just ahead there, weaving his way through GTE traffic. Now coming up on Joe Brown, I believe. As we are just 24 minutes into this race. Weaving his way through the Protos. Vandergeest just trying to stay with Brown. So interesting as these conditions change. What the tires are going to be. So you can see Vandergeest and Jones both stopped for the softs. So in the midst of all that, that's what put them back. Okay. They are now on softs, but I believe the rain is about to start. As these guys battle it out. There's Gilles. That gap. That huge gap, and that's probably a pit stop gap, I would assume. Yeah, as many seconds. Silva still on the wets. But it appears, no, I don't see any rain coming down yet, but you can tell that it is graying up. Cars are still pretty wet. And the wipers are on. I think the rain has started. So this is going to throw a wrench in the spokes as Discoverer is pitting from the lead. So let's see what happens here. What kind of tires? He's going back thin on wets. He's probably going to stick with the wet. And that's going to give Westy the lead of this race. Where is Middleton in all this as the rain starts to come down? Man. Carl just sticking with those mediums so far. He's going to have to switch, I would think, to the wet at some point in time. They're burning down that straight. Here is your leader. Westy's about to come up on the GTEs. His teammate Taylor sub 2.5 seconds back. And Bataj and Andrew Harper now coming out. There is Bataj. Harper, who stayed out. Telvitier still in the medium. So Middleton is pitting. So I'm curious. He's going to have to put those wets on. One would hope. I think he's probably thinking twice about that decision not to use him as this Gobbler gets around Harper is trying to, and finally does. There he goes. Putting himself up into fourth after the pit stop. Fresh wet tires versus old wet tires. So Middleton and Jones both in the pit for the P2s. Vandergeest is in the pit for the GTEs. And I'll bet he's going to come out on the wet as well. These guys are just between Talvitier there on the mediums. And there goes the Scobler around that. So Talvitier, and here comes Andrew Harper. So not a lot of hard rain following, but the wipers are on. Meanwhile, the Scobler getting through. So now, if you can see, believe this or not, Middleton has put wets on the rear and mediums on the front. Very interesting choice by Mr. Middleton. Here he is now. Let's see how that pans out. I would think he would want to go wet. Perhaps it was a mistake. We don't know. But anyway, we have a pretty Fischler in third. See the gap there to second place. As he goes around. Oh, right out. That was unfortunate. As we have Westy get through some of the protos now. So first place, Westy. The Scabler some 1, 2, 3 spots back with fresh rubber as Westy takes that hairpin there at turn 14, 15 area. Is he going to come in? Let's see what happens here. He's staying out. With the 12th place cars, Ed Jones is now coming into the pit for some fresh rubber. And Taylor coming in. So, teammate Westy stays out. Other teammate Taylor's coming in for fresh rubber. So there we have it. That's going to put Talvitier out the front. Or no, where is Granatovich? Oh, there he is. Roman's way up here. My screen to the right is not. It does separate them by color, but Granatovich is currently 6th overall due to the pit stops, and that's why I couldn't find him. But he's almost a minute ahead of Tony. So that is very, very interesting situation there. And Tony's still on those mediums. He's going to, I don't know, man. I don't know if he can hack. You would think he would be coming in for some wets, but nope, the Flying Finn is staying out. Meanwhile, 4th and 5th are both in. Taylor coming out now. And Fischler right there. This is the battle of the pit stop. So they're coming out together. And currently 4th and 5th in class coming out together out of the pit stops with fresh, wet tires. See here. Getting around. Is that Mr. Brown? Yeah. So Brown letting those photos through. Now Brown's about 7 seconds back of Talvitier, but Talvitier, he's got to be struggling in that rain. I mean, his fastest lap is a 2:13, Talvitier on the mediums. Granatovich, who's in first, fastest lap is a 2:11. So, very interesting. Stefan Wenham is staying on the mediums. And it looks like Joe Brown lost a headlight. It looks like battle through that. Meanwhile, Pichler, that pit stop battle, they pitted together. They're coming out together. And they're closing in on Salvitier in the GTE class there. So let's see what kind of a pickup this allows Pichler to kind of stay with him as Tony goes to the outside wisely. Tony just refusing. It's Westy's in the pits. So Westy's swapping them out now. So there is Westy in the pit. That's going to put Matej back in first place. So the pit stops are sequence is taking back over. And that puts Andrew Harper now on the podium in third. Westy's in the pit. On those views, wets though, how much time will he get out of that if we are under an hour to go? And the rain is falling, although looking at the radar, it doesn't look like it's going to be very intense rain. And perhaps just rain for about 15 minutes and then back to the wet line, hopefully. Oh, yellow in sector 3. That is the 10th place car of Joe Brown. I think he had a little bit of an off there. Spun out into the pit lane area as Salvitier's into the pits. So now let's see the moment of truth if he's going to go to wet. Will the Flying Finns swap out for wet? We will find out. Meanwhile, Pichler chasing down Taylor as the Scobbler has taken over the lead of this race again. Well, let's check on the gap, the 10-second gap to Andrew Harper and Nick Westy. So Westy now out of the pit and only some 10 seconds back of Harper. Oh, and he's out. Westy has had it. Holy smokes, you can see pieces and parts. Westy gets it all wrong. Oh, we missed it. Also, the 8th place car of Freddie Hell, I think, was involved. So this could have been a collision that we just both missed. But Westy, the points leader, he is in bad shape now. He has no wing, no front end. Pieces and parts everywhere. It's a yard sale over there. You can see rear wing completely gone. He's going to have to navigate his way back. Comes around that carousel into that high-speed turn. I hope he doesn't get too much speed and crash it again. Looks like the suspension's okay, but holy smokes, look at this thing. Oh my goodness. Mr. Westy not going to be happy about that. Who knows what happened? I have something between him and Freddie Hell. Let's check on Freddie. Freddie looks okay, but Westy got to be getting it, limping it around into the pit. He's staying out. Westy's staying out with no wing. Wow. Meanwhile, Granatovich way out front. 87 seconds on Joe Brown. Holy smokes. What is the deal here? Middleton's out. Carl Middleton has parked it for the remainder of this race. He is out. Andrew Harper currently in second. And wow, with the mix-up with Westy and coming into those, staying out though. I can't believe Westy is staying out with all this damage. He's got, I don't need no wings. Apparently he doesn't. He should be doing just fine. Holy smokes. Let's see what that last lap time for Westy was. A 3:22 out of the pit. So then that first lap out of the pits, he loses it all. Wow. All right. Meanwhile, Talvitier finally on the wet. Now is duking it out with Jean Vandergeest. That third step on the podium. As Brown has just been very impressive in that bet. I got to give it to him, man. Starting in the pits and now finding himself in second place in class. That's pretty good. There is Talvitier. Getting some spray. Porsche versus Porsche. He's on that inside line, closing that gap pretty good on Van der Geest. Just crawling around, as you can see, is that the Descobelaire going around. So there goes the leader, Descobelaire. Next for Descobelaire is going to be Van der Geest. As he gets around the third place GTE of Jean Van der Geest. So with Westy in trouble, hanging on to fifth place, the battle for third is now between Taylor and Pilcher. And Pichler looks like he's being able to battle stand right with him. Currently in fourth. Eat some spray in that open cockpit. No wipers for these guys. As 8th and 9th swing it wide. There's Freddie House into the pits for repair. And Joe Brown, I believe, also into the pits. So there's your pit stops there. Meanwhile, back to this battle. Sorry to see Carl out of the race. Don't know what happened. And also, we just got that tail end flippity-doo-dah of Nick Westy. And I'm sure it had something to do with Freddie Hell. Let's see what happens down the main straight here. Let's see if Pichler has anything for Taylor on the top speed end of things. Like he's just staying with it. The close up. Oh, we have the GTE right there. I believe that's Jill. Yeah, that is De Silva, and that beautifully painted car. One of our other excellent painters, Jill De Silva, paints a lot of cars for most of the Sim Racing Online guys. Does a wonderful job. So, the gaps are pretty wide open right now. Pichler hanging with Taylor. And then Westy, the wingless Westy we call him. The wild wingless Westy of the West in China. Doing some wingless magic in the rain. I can't believe how he's keeping that thing on the track. For crying out loud, Nick. What in the heck? Peter Jones. Gonna get through some traffic. That is your leader in the Porsche of the GTEs, Granatovich. He's just having a Sunday drive out there. He's actually ahead of a couple of the protos. This being one of them, as Jones is gonna get back in front. And 6th overall for Peter Jones and 7th overall for Granatovich and first in GTE. So Roman is just giving us a driving lesson today. Just the one DNF so far. Unfortunate to see. Meanwhile, Talvitier on the wets in third on the podium. Closing in on Van der Geest. Right there in 8th. Let's see if we can get one of those super cool rear rears. There we go. Getting through this just insane sector 1. And finally back on the gas. Tony takes a look. Vandergeest defending, and Tony's got close to that gap right there. Winding through this little technical part. All right, as they battle, Nick Westy. Oh, Andrew and Westy. Westy's finally pulled it into the pits to try and do some repairs. Okay, that's what was going on there. I wonder what happened. I thought my board's flashing over here. So both Westy and Andrew Harper are in the pits. Westy's just decided that he's going to have to either get gas and fix some of that damage. Holy smokes. That was crazy business. Meanwhile, let's get back to this Talvitier GTE battle. As Bataj, first place, is getting around one of the other GTEs. Okay, just checking to see what that was all about. That's the 6th place car of Roman Ganatovich getting passed by the 2 leaders, actually. The 2 leaders going into turn 1 together. With the 13th player of Gilles de Silva kind of in the mix there. And then they are behind these guys considerably, not too far. As these guys are currently 8th and 9th overall. They cross the start finish. Tony into this 300-degree right-hander where it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Right here, tight again, just threading the needle. The Vandergeest at Liberty Footwear sponsored livery sim racing online. Wow, some crazy stuff there. The P class leader gets through 14th place. Meanwhile, these guys, are they out of the pits yet? They came out of the pits. Peter Jones and Andrew Harper. Westy's out. So, Andrew trying to stay with him. Peter had that excellent pace. And Talvitier has spun it, but he did get a Vandergeest, he loses the gap. You can see the gap now as Talvitier got it all wrong and lost it there. As we are just under 45 minutes remaining, so halfway through this race. I believe the actual rain is about almost stopped. There's just a few drops on the windshield you can see there. Let's see if Talvitier. And that is the 2nd place car of Robin Taylor that just went around Talvitier there. Along with the 3rd place car of Philip Fischler as they chase down the main straight, start finish straight that is. Making their way through the GTE class as they all are bunched up into this giant 300-degree carousel right-hand turn. Signature of the Shanghai Jiading circuit. Granatovich is in the pits from the lead. So here he comes out now. Still sporting that huge gap over Vandergeest. It's only 92 seconds. Wow. How does that happen? That is just mind-boggling. Granatovic's just a driving machine. As is Matej today in the rain. Got to dig deep. So there is Vandergeest, and here is Talvitier. So this Porsche battle for second and third among class. They're just a couple seconds apart. And then the next in fourth is Joe Brown, and he is back here. So he's some 13 seconds back or so, Talvitier. Meanwhile, here comes Wenham, the sixth place car of Nick Westy, now back in action with this wing and everything. So Westy's back. Looking a little better. Looks like the pit crew polished him up. Nicely done. And this battle for second place continues on both classes. So the two closest battles are both fighting third, fighting second on the podium. We have the P2s here, and down here we have the GTEs. So some good battles here. Guys continue into the fray. Just over 41 minutes remaining. And I believe the drops have stopped, but the track is wet. See the spray still coming off. Now Talvitier's got it under a second gap now, so he is right there. Vandergeest got to keep from making any mistakes to let Tony back in. As long as John can stay on it, just hit his apexes. Don't watch the mirrors too much. He should be okay. All right, Nick Westy's last lap was a 2:12. Matej's last lap in first place P2 was a 2:06. So Robin Taylor and Philip Pichler's last laps were both 2:08s. A 2:08.7 for Pichler, 2:08.9 for Taylor. So he is taking a little bit of chunks out of it. As I believe that is Gilles de Silva getting passed by the third place car of Philip Pichler. Or this, I guess that was, yeah, that was Pichler. Peter Jones in fourth, but he is gapped. He is back a little bit. So he is way back, and he's battling. Is that Ed Jones? Or is that Joe Brown? It is Ed Jones. Jones currently in sixth in GTE, with Joe Brown and the other vet in fifth, just ahead of him. Remember, Brown made that impressive run. Here he is now. He finds himself currently in fifth now after the pit stops, so as it should be. Okay, Talvitier, Vandergeest. I think he got to the back end there. And then just behind these guys, well, I think there's a lap difference between 10 and 11th place. But 8th and 9th are battling. Oh, yeah, they're pretty. I see the gap now on the track map. All right. So Pichler, 1.5 seconds back. Seems to be comfortable there. He's just pacing it out. We are just past halfway, so there's a lot of racing left here. You got to save onto these wet tires and They've got to be shown somewhere. And we have our second DNF of the day, and it's Stephen Wenham is finding himself out of this race. Freddie Howe has averted disaster and is still alive and kicking, so good for Freddie, as well as Nick Westy, as they seem to have a collision there. We don't know. We'll have to get the gist of it in the aftermath of this event. But cars and parts were flying, but everybody's back on track now. And here is that Talvitier battle now. GTE for second place, currently held by Vandergeest. And that's just a half a second back is Tony. As he's eating a little bit of spray there. There is Vandergeest. They head into this tight turn. Do you like Talvitier just staying on the inside there, and Vandergeest able to shut the door. Gonna make me dizzy, that turn. So these guys are duking it out. The P2 gap remains the same. A little bit more of a gap on those guys. It's a 1.5 seconds versus this 1 second gap here between these two. 0.7 is the exact gap between Tony and Vandergeest. And 1.5 is the gap, 1.2 between Taylor and Pichler and the P2s. As you can see, it's clearing up now, so we're going to start developing another dry line. I believe the drops are no longer falling. It's just spray. It looks like a little bit of sun coming out. It's a nice surprise. The spray. Woo! Meanwhile, the P2s are in the same boat. Here is Pichler. As you can see, that sun starting to come out. The track's still pretty wet. Nice blue skies, just breaking clouds over there. So it looks like we're going to be in for a dry finish here. If these guys can battle through, we might have more pit stops to put the softs on to finish this race with just 35 plus minutes remaining. Just the two DNFs is pretty impressive. Wenham's in the pit now. Wenham might be coming back. Wenham was showing a DNF, but now he's showing alive in the pit, so perhaps he's going to come out. Maybe not. Nope, he's parked. Okay. Then here is Gilles. Now this battle for second has caught Gilles. Currently in 7th place, so these guys are going to have to get around Gilles, and it looks like he's giving him room. But there's nowhere to go here when this apex tightens up here. So this is going to let Tony get right on the back of Vandergeest as Gilles lets him through. All right, wisely done. There is Gilles back there. All right, we've got another little fight going on here. Westy coming back on Andrew Harper. And Andrew, congrats to Andrew for making it this far. I know he had very little practice and he hasn't had a lot of time. And so having him in this race is great. And glad to see that he is still competitive here, even in the rain. I think they all practiced dry, and then we found out that it was going to be pouring rain. So, yeah. Kudos to these guys for grunting it out. And Westy looking to the inside. He's got the gap, and he is going to take that spot away from Andrew Harper. So Westy making his way back up to 5th place after the incident. So nicely done there. once he gets through. So back to this battle for second place in the GTEs. And just behind them, Freddie Hall is still in it. It's going to get around, also get around Gilles De Silva as the Proto gets through. And meanwhile, Pichler and Robin Taylor still, Pichler's able to hold that 1.5 to 1.8 gap. So this is the current battle, the tightest on track as we speak. As the track's drying out, you can see the spray is declining. Here these guys are running out of rubber. As Talvitier looks for a way. The fight is on. All right, Westy's last lap time was a 2:06 in the Proto. Andrews was a 2:11, so got around him pretty fairly easily. As Vandergeest gives up the spot right when I turn away. Holy smokes, Tony makes his pass and I missed it. I apologize. Holy smokes. I knew it was coming, but I thought he was maintaining it pretty good there. Vandergeest must have flipped up just a little bit, but let's see if he has anything for him. And Vandergeest is off, so I'll bet you Vandergeest's wets are worse for the wear, so to say. As that's going to give Tony free rein out there with that nice gap now. So what happened to Vandergeest? It's 5 seconds back now. There he is. Stayed ahead of De Silva. And here's Ed Jones and Joe Brown in the vet, still hanging in there. Peter Jones in 6th place, and the there's Andrew Harper in 5th. And Westy's now into 4th place. So after the incident, he's buying himself back up, but he is some 50 seconds back of Pichler. So hey, who knows, man? Anything can happen this last 30 minutes as we have hit the 30-minute mark, give or take 20 seconds or so. And Pichler lost out on Taylor, so probably at the same time there was a couple incidents. Guys were all pretty close, and now the gaps are back up to crooked numbers. But Granatovich, holy smokes. Granatovich just got around Brown. Or is it the other way around? The leader's in the pits, so Matej pits from the lead. How far back is Taylor now? It's such a huge gap, though. It's going down 10-9. He is going to take it. So Taylor's going to take over the lead of this race as Matej is still parked. And who was that went around? Was that Pichler goes around? He's also in the pits. So Pichler spins out in pit lane with, was that Ed Jones? Yeah, so Ed Jones and Pichler have a little bit of a mix-up in there. Matej coming out now. As I believe that is that Freddie Hell unlapped himself for a second there, but who was that just went around? So yeah, it's Freddie Hell. He's having a little bit of incident. There's Talvitier in 2nd place. GTE. Wow. Some mayhem here. I'm trying to follow it. And I keep clicking the exact wrong clicks as Freddie pulls himself into the pits. Okay, Pichler's in the pits. Descobaler, second place behind Taylor. About a 17-second gap, so that is not enough for Taylor to drop into the pits and come out and keep the lead. Vandergeest has dropped behind Joe Brown now. So Vandergeest had his struggles there after that great battles. There is Joe Brown. Vandergeest. So let's try and get this thing in order. Here we got Taylor from the top. We'll go top down. First place in the P class. And here is your second place in the P class. Coming down the back straight now. So if Taylor chooses to pit now, does not, he just takes it wide. He'd be way back. And then we have Pichler in third. Westy in fourth. About 9 seconds back of Phillip now. Harper in fifth as the dry line is starting to take over. And then Peter Jones in sixth for class. And then we have Freddie Jones coming out of the pits now. Currently in seventh. Freddie Howell, merely a survivor at this point in time. So there is Peter Jones. I think he's got him by a lap anyway. So and he's got 34 seconds on Andrew to catch up, to try and get that fifth place away from Harper. And then in the GTEs, Granatovich, who split from the green light. An enormous gap, 100 seconds over Talvitier, who's pitting. Talvitier pits from second. So this is going to open the door for Brown. How far back is Brown? Ninth overall. If you look at the track map, you can kind of see where he is. So here he comes. He is going to take over that spot. So Brown is going to move into second. Talvitier's in the pits. Where is Vandergeest? Vandergeest. Currently in 10th if you use your track map. So he is way back. De Silva is also in the pits. Okay. So Talvitier should be coming out. There comes Talvitier. He's going to come out in third. Uh-oh. I lost my, what happened to all my P1? I lost them. Holy crap. Alrighty then. Let me try and fix the tower. So on my software, I have lost my complete class, and it's on the broadcast side on the software. So I'm trying to figure out what I got to do to get this. As I can't even click on the P2 class to show them on the screen. So I got to figure out what I did. They just disappeared. did they go? What did I click? All right, well, I can't get to them. So I can't even click on them to view them. My broadcast software just took a dump. How did they go away? Mixed. Multi-class. It's working on the display, but in my software overlay, I don't have it. Plays. Not helping me here. What happens if I hit this? There we go. All right, I got him back. So here we go. Robert Taylor still in the lead. Pardon the interruption. I had to refresh the web browser page that is running the broadcast software, as the whole P2 class just disappeared. So here we go, leaders. And Matej now closing. He's only 3 seconds back. So here is Matej. As you can see, the guys that stopped, Pitchler and Jones, to both stop, are now on softs. And Freddie Hall is on mediums for the P2 class. And in GTE, you can see that only Granatovich and Brown are still on the wets. Everybody else has gone to the softs, except for Da Silva, who is on the mediums. So, as you can see, going sideways a little bit here, it's Granatovich chasing Westy. As Westy has found his way back to the podium after all that crashing, disassembled and parts flying, he is now back on the podium with his last lap was a 2:05. Robin Taylor's last lap was a 2:07. Matej's last lap was a 2:03. And the fastest lap of the race is a 2:02.5, also by Matej. So, as we are just at the 20-minute mark now, I'll flip it back to this. Give you guys the track map back. Now that I have my refreshed page. Matej takes the lead of this race right here as he's passing Robin Taylor. Woo! I am just a second behind today. Sorry about that. Still a few wet spots on the track, but as you can see, Matej has taken the lead of this race back from Robin Taylor after the pit stop. Taylor's best lap is 2:04, while Matej's, as we've talked, was a 2:02, fastest lap of the race so far. Fastest lap in GTE is a 2:11 set by Roman Granatovich. And Talvitier in second, still, as Taylor is just feeling the worse for wear now. That once he's given up that lead, now he is finding himself off. So no battles to ensue here. Philip Pitchler just got through Granatovich. As we can see, the sun is out. We have a dry line. There's very few wet spots left. These guys are going to have to go off track to find the wet. If the guys that are a couple guys still on wets. So Granatovich continues to keep those wets. He's going to have to stop at some point in time, you would assume. as Mataj is getting through. That's the 12th place car of Ed Jones in the vet. So Taylor's in the pits. So he was probably burned through those tires. We've got just 18 minutes remaining. Joe Brown, got a little mix up here. And Vandergeest. Looks like Vandergeest is going to make a bid here for that third place spot. There is third right there. He's got a chance to get it right here. As Freddie Hell is going to pull away. Made it interesting there. Close up this gap. Vandergeest has anything for Joe Brown. Granatovich, the new best lap time. To 11.3 for the GTE. Oh, he's off, and Vandergeest gets the spot. Joe Brown gets it all wrong on that turn and loses that spot. Wow. What a chain of events for Vandergeest, finding himself back on the podium in third place. It's Freddie Howell. So Brown struggled there in that section. As we can see, Salvitier and Vandergeest both on the softs. As Brown gets it all wrong again, so Brown just having an incident here on those mediums. Not being able to hold on as Talvitier second, Vandergeest third. Where is Ed Jones? Still a minute back. So Brown has no immediate threat to his fourth position. However, having that third spot and losing it with a couple of offs there probably didn't make his day. Meanwhile, Taylor trying to stay with it. Some 30 seconds back now with this couple of little bit of offs. But that's going to put Westy just 2 seconds ahead of Pichler. So does Pichler have anything for Westy? He's right there. We are under 15 minutes remaining. And the skies have cleared. The seas have parted. And Phillips doing a little lawn mowing. That's not going to help the cause. Freddie Hell currently in 7th. So the soft tires, we could go the rest of the way on this race. Vandergeest. Just got second place car of Robin Taylor getting around that third place car of Jean Vandergeest of GTE. As they make their way through. No real epic battles at this time. Everybody's pretty spread out. Granatovich gets a penalty. Oh, this could change everything. Granatovich Must have been speeding out of the pits, or perhaps it was a cut penalty. We don't know. It'd be great if they would define what the penalty was. You know, if it was a speeding, or it could have been a cut penalty. But that's going to put a twist on things here. Granatovic, I mean, he's still got 100 seconds. If it's a stop and go, it might. I still don't think it's going to hurt him. It's so far out front. And Tony's got almost 30 seconds on Vandergeest. And look, Granatovic has 107 seconds on Tony. So over a minute and a half. Joe Brown, just 12 seconds back. And then Ed Jones, yeah, it's about a minute behind. So that's how that's panning out. Meanwhile, Westy, he's closing, or increasing his gap, on Fischler for the most part, but Fischler is managed to bring it down when we get into the twisty parts. It goes from 4.5 to 3.5. So you see it's coming down right now, and then it goes back up when we get onto the straight. So Westy still on the wet, so that might help Fischler. Oh, Jones just had his new best lap time. A 2:01. He has the new fastest lap, and they're not. Peter Jones just set a new lap record, 2:01.8, with just about 11.5 minutes left. So Granatovic, is he going to serve it? He's serving it. He's coming in. So let's see if it's a drive-through or a stop and go. 7th overall. First in GTE. It's still wet in the pit lane. So let's see if it's a stop and go or a drive-through. It looks like it's a stop and go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There he comes. So look, he's still got 80 seconds on Tony. So the stop and go doesn't hurt because of that outstanding, brilliant 80 minutes of driving before all of this. Wow, that's something else. How could you get such a gap? Unbelievable. I think no mistakes and then little bits of offs here and there from the rest of the field, just adding seconds and seconds to each corner. So, I mean, that's how it happens. They all add up slowly. Meanwhile, Fischler, on those softs, he might have something for Westy in this last 10 minutes. He has definitely caught him, and we are on. He's within a second now, so Westy's got to be thinking, wish he would have. Of course, down the pit stop from all the damage, that was the last time he pitted, and that was some 20 minutes ago. Maybe a little less than 20. You can see that. Here it comes. Here it comes. This is it. He's having a look. He's got a little bit of a pick there. The 11th place car of Joe Brown right there. Looking for a way, but Westy gets hard on the loud pedal. Oh, this could be the setup right here. Get this tight turn. Turn 15, turn 16 right here. Down the start finish straight. Look at, he's got those wet tires. He's trying to get him, keep him cool. There is Fischler looking for that podium. And he's going to the outside. Oh, and he's down on the inside. they get through that 300-degree turn. Westy's staying out in front. He's probably desperately looking for wet spots. Those tires have got to be cooking. This pitcher's got a shot. This could be it. Oh, Westy's gone wide. Pitcher's gone the inside, and he gets the spot as Westy just goes wide. Those old wets just could not hold that turn. And that's going to put Philip Pichler in third place on the podium with just under 8 minutes remaining. Nice move, Mr. Pichler, making it pay off. A good, smart tire change. So how do you do to the podium, Mr. Pichler? All he's got to do is hold on for the next 7 minutes and 20 seconds. And he seems running away now. It's just out gapping him with those old tires. So, but you got to give it to Westy after that horrific event. Pieces and parts flying all over the place. And yet he still got himself back up into a decent points paying position and was actually sitting on the podium with time to go. So very well done. Meanwhile, Matej Descobelaire has just dominated this race. Making his way through the GTEs. I believe that is Gilles de Silva. And still just the 2 DNFs, which is nice to have. And then Taylor, second place. Nice, stable, steady race. And then Pichler with that brilliant maneuver getting through Westy. Well, Westy gets the hero award, I think, as I'm going to vote on driver of the day, surviving that mayhem. He did about 3 or 4 laps, maybe 5 laps without a wing and in the rain and stayed in contention. So what the heck? And then long pit stop. And then Andrew Harper in that beautiful paint job, just driving through the wet part of the track. In a 5th place, if he hangs on, he can have himself a 5th place finish with 6 minutes to go. Peter Jones, just behind him. He's got 20 seconds to make up. And then Freddie Howe will bring up the rear in the P2 class. And then the other GTE driver of the day has got to be Granatovich. Holy smokes. He has just dominated, but getting a little squirrely there, but he did just stop, so he should be fine. His last lap was the fastest lap of the GTE, the 2:07. So now that the sun's out, the times are coming down. 1:59's up on top. New best lap for the P2 class. Matej has passed up Peter Jones's fastest lap and put a 1:59.7. So they are into the sub 2 minute laps now that the sun is out or partially out and the track is dry. So Tony Talvitier, second place, just under 5 minutes to go. And Vandergeest finds himself on the podium. That Porsche car. Did a nice race today by John. So far, so good. Joe Brown is currently about 20 seconds behind him. So all he has to do is hang on. And then Ed Jones in the other Corvette. 6th in class, 12th overall. And then we have Gilles the painter and barkeep, currently in 7th in class. And Stephen Wenham, who has parked it. That Carl Middleton has parked it. So the 2 DNFs. So, as you can see, the field is very spread out here as we are about 3.5 minutes remaining, just a couple of laps to go. There is your P2 leader, Granatovich. And that unruly 300-degree right-hand turn. There is the GTE leader, Roman Granatovich. Got to hang on for 3 more minutes. A little traffic action here with Freddie Hill. And the third place car of Philip Fischler. You can see Jean Vandergeest trailing these guys as Freddie Hill goes a little wide there, and he goes all around. And how you doing, Freddie? Watch out for the Porsche. Here comes Vandergeest. There is Vandergeest. A little spinner for show. All right, race fans, 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go. Here's your leader coming through turn 13 and 14, 15. So this is going to start the white flag lap as he crosses the line with about 1:47 seconds. This is the white flag lap. The white flag is out. This will be the last lap of the race. See Taylor about a sector behind almost. Maybe not quite a full sector. Fischler about 30 seconds back of that. So evenly gapped. And there's Westy. And Harper hanging on to 5th place. This will be a great finish for Andrew. Just got to pull it off. Now Peter Jones is right there, though. So we do have a race for position here with the last second. So this is the last lap of the race. Can Jones possibly get him? So some last lap action. It looks like he's going to have a little bit of a run, and he's going to the inside, and he does indeed get that spot. And that is going to drop Andrew to 6th. Still a decent finish for Andrew. And Peter Jones, who we know had really good speed, has just taken 5th place away. But that said, Matash is going to lap, just about to lap. And he does put Andrew down 1 more lap. Meanwhile, Granatovich will cross the start-finish for the last time under Anger and be able to complete his white flag lap. He had started the last lap of the GTEs, but here comes Matej. He's heading into turn 14 and 15. As the clock ticks out as we hit turn 16, and here is your round 4 winner, Matej Descabelaire, with a best lap of a 158.081. He takes round 4 in Shanghai. There is your winner. Nicely done, Descabelaire. Nice race. All right, 2nd place down the back straight is Robin Taylor. Into that final turn 15 area. 3rd place is just about ready to head down the straight. As he takes the checkered for 2nd place. Nicely done, Mr. Taylor. Team Black Cat on the podium. And here comes Philip Fischler. Had a great race for Philip today, keeping himself in one piece and finishing on the podium in 3rd place. Nicely done. As he takes the checkered. Very well. Nicely done there. Now I believe that Granatovich finishing up with these these P2s. Whoa, hello, how you doing? As he actually gets around Freddie Hell. Freddie Hell has had nothing but trouble today. So, congratulations for finishing, Freddie. Way to go. As Granatovich takes the checkered flag here for the GTEs. There he goes across the line. Nicely done, Roman. There is your GTE winner. Talvitier in second, Vandergeest in third, as these guys are all parked. Westy coming through. They're all parked. Here comes Peter Jones, and then we're having a little bit of fun on the front line, and there goes some wing action. I believe that was Joe Brown. So that was a feisty little end to that. So my gosh, that was crazy. All right. Here is your session result. Ritesh Kabbalar in first, Robin Taylor second, Philip Pitcher third, Nick Westy in fourth, Peter Jones in fifth, Andrew Harper in sixth. Nicely done. Then Roman Granatovich, your GTE winner, Tony Talvitier in second place, John Vandergeest on the podium in third. Freddie Hill finishes 10th overall, 7th in class. Okay. Then we have Joe Brown in fourth, Ed Jones in fifth. Or, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Gilles De Silva in sixth, and Stephen Wenham, the non-finisher, in seventh place for seventh place post. So that was it. So what a race today in the rain, into the sun. Keep in mind what's coming up next in 2 weeks, round 5 at Baku. I hope to see you there. And thanks for watching. And jump on the forums to find out what's happening next and some action, some post-race action. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.